Hey, hallo, South Africa. Hochhandit. Welcome to the new year, 2024. Awe Masakina. Hey, this is just like South Africa. It's lights out, courtesy of Eskom. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm prepared for Eskom. I've got a torch. Just in case Eskom can't deliver electricity, I've got a torch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Eskom announced its first load shedding for 2024 already on January 2nd. Stage 2 load shedding began Tuesday from 5 a.m. until 4 p.m. And immediately after that, rotational power cuts were cranked up a bit of a notch to stage 3, which would last until 5 a.m. on Wednesday, which will be after this video is published. Now, Eskom's unplanned outages were 16,231 megawatts of generating capacity, while capacity out of service for planned maintenance was 8,451 megawatts. That is 23,000 plus megawatts of power. That's over half their current generating capacity. Imagine when the African National Congress took over Eskom in 1994, the parastatal, it produced about 52,000 megawatts of electricity. Many people in South Africa had no access to electricity at that time. Now, most people are hooked up to the grid, but guess what? With Eskom, it's always lights out. That's right. It's always a romantic evening in South Africa. You know, a few years back, as I said, South Africa had 52,000 megawatts of power generation, and that came from affordable, reliable coal-fired power stations and the Koeberg nuclear facility. But today, the ANC dances for its dinner, begging for billions of dollars from corrupt Western governments under the so-called Just Energy Transformation, or JET. The cost? Well, the true cost for South Africans is lights out, ladies and gentlemen. Business paralyzed, crime surging, people's lives put at risk each and every day from power failures as a consequence of ineptitude, corruption, malfeasance, and just plain bigotry and racism. Now, why is the ANC doing this little dance and dancing for its dinner, doing this little minstrel show for Western governments? Well, it wants to get its hand on the grift. So the cost of getting your hands on the grift, the $8.5 to $12 billion promised by the likes of jackass Joe Biden and those in Europe, is South Africa must shut down its primary source of electricity while chasing rainbows and unicorns. And none other than Andre de Ruyter has told us how important it is to chase rainbows and unicorns. You see, solar panels, photovoltaic, are the answer to South Africa's woes. Ah, yes, unaffordable, unreliable, expensive. Chinese-made solar panels are not the answer to South Africa. But the thing is, folks, right now they are the answer. And you know why? Because with Eskom, it's always lights out. You know, they actually had 19 days in December without load shedding. It's a miracle in and of itself. It's a Christmas miracle, Maha. 19 days. But here we are on January 2nd, and it's already lights out at Eskom, the most romantic utility in the world. That's right. Every night is a romantic evening. It's a candlelit dinner for everybody in South Africa. While I joke about this, the sad reality is this is causing jobs to shed like viral particles. It's costing people their homes, their lives, their property as crime skyrockets and the government takes no action. They even have an electricity minister now. How comical is that? How sad a state of affairs that a country must have a minister for electricity, a basic utility that virtually every country can provide outside Africa without any major challenges, but not in South Africa, where the state-owned parastatal, Eskom, is beyond a disaster. Lights out. Can you imagine this, folks? Can you imagine this? Celebrating having 19 days with no load shedding. Most of us have no load shedding for 365 days all over the world. I've lived in over a dozen and a half countries around the world. And the only time that I've had trouble with power was in Liberia, where the civil war destroyed the entire power grid, and in Botswana, where Eskom cut the electricity, even though we paid it. Well, Happy New Year, South Africa. Make sure you get a torch handy, and it'll help you overcome those Eskom moments. Always have a torch. This is a pretty handy one, isn't it? Pretty bright. This torch will overcome Eskom in a heartbeat. Happy New Year, South Africa. Good luck, and I hope you can afford to go off grid, which many people are doing. Very expensive, but at least they've got power. But not if you're an Eskom customer. Thanks a lot, folks. Bye-bye, donkey. Have a lovely, safe, and may your days be filled with electricity. Somehow, I doubt it. God bless.